Welcome to Fishbowl Sports, everybody. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Jalen. Here is Raging Fishbowl. We're doing Raging Cajun baseball, Raging Cajun softball, and just keeping up with Raging Cajun athletics here as we go live here on the Fishbowl. So without further ado, let me introduce everybody to Jalen. How you doing today, Jalen? Nothing much, Jalen. So I hope you're having a great day out there today. Let's kind of like a big series win for the Cajuns beating South Alabama this past weekend here. Kind of keeping track there. Educated softball had a unfortunately a season not season a series loss to Southern Miss last weekend. So Jalen, some takeaways from both games. What you thought about Rage Cajun baseball this weekend against South Alabama?
Yeah, so Cajuns playing South Al. We talked about it how we both I think we both said that the Cajuns were gonna win the series, and guess what happened? That's exactly what they did. Now I think losing the first game that close as it was, I guess that kind of set the tone for the rest of the games in the series. The Cajuns they've been playing hot. Um, this whole early start of the college baseball season. So at first loss against South Al, that made them bounce back and win the next two, and now they got a matchup coming up with Houston. So I think the men's baseball team has been playing great. I mean, look at them; they're ranked. I mean, it's I know Coach Diggs don't want to look too much into it, but the Cajuns are hot right now. They're one of the best teams. They're not just a Sun Belt in the whole country right now. One of the best playing wise. I mean, and to be right there at 25 ranked, I mean, that goes to show you how well they're playing.
Well, so far the Cajuns are ranked number 22 in perfect game as well. So they're appearing in a couple of different polls here. So yeah, like they are. Like I thought last week, it was a little bit early to rank them before the South Alabama series, but now it does seem like a good time to rank them and kind of see where they're gonna go here. So with the series with Texas State coming up after this midweek battle against Houston here, Texas State's got kind of somewhat of an easy schedule. So far this baseball season, strength of schedule is 142. Their RPI is 104. We're gonna start talking more about RPI because I think it's starting to get a little bit more important because we're starting to get to towards the midweek mid part of the season here because 12-7, that's what Texas State is. They're 9-3 at home, 0-4 on the road, so they don't play very well on the road. If you're looking at RPI teams, the Cajuns should win the series this weekend if we're basing on their RPI record against those teams like 1 through 25, 0-2, 26 and 50 haven't played anybody in that RPI ranking yet. 51 through 100, they are 7-5, and 101 through 200, it's 5-0. Excuse me. But their RPI is 104 right now, so like I think the Cajuns should win this one here. I think they're gonna be a very good team. Texas State was kind of one of those that we were kind of watching because they usually have a pretty good baseball team, but they got swept this weekend against UOM, which UOM is surprisingly actually pretty good this year in baseball. Was not expecting that from them too much here. Cajuns coming off a 2-1 series win over South Alabama. They are going to be playing Houston tomorrow, March 18th, which is why we're doing this tonight, obviously. And not trying to do it in the middle of the game here. So we're going to bring up Houston here a little bit. Houston is 12-7 themselves here. They're 1-2 in the Big 12 conference. They're coming off a series loss to Kansas State this weekend here. So for if you want to do the numbers with Houston, basically here is what we have for Houston so far with their RPI and everything. Their RPI is at 73, strength of schedule 64. So when they play these 1 through 25 RPI teams, I like to look at like do the 1 through 50, like the two, compare both of them to kind of see where they're at against basically tournament teams, if you will. So they're 2-1 against RPI teams that rank through 1 through 25. 26 and 50, they're 2-3. So if you combine both of those, they are 4-4. So they're running about a 500 between or with RPI teams between 1 through 50. So with that being said, there you're getting a team that's about average, right, against tournament caliber teams here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, the 51 through 100, you should see a little bit better results if you're looking at a team that's going to be kind of going deep in Omaha and that kind of thing there. So they're 3-2 against 51 through 100 there. So that is something to kind of look at when we're looking at this Houston game here. So Cajuns being on the road against Houston is going to be kind of a tough deal for them. I think it's going to be a very good game for um, Houston, obviously here. But let's go look at the predictor and think what the predictor says about this whole entire thing here, and kind of see where it's drawing at with this thing here. So Cajuns, let's see where it's got it at. All right, so it's got the Cajuns winning the series against Texas State, and it's got them winning the midweek against Houston. It's got them winning Friday night, dropping the Saturday game, and winning the Sunday game. It's got them winning against Houston as well. The Cajuns are projected to sweep ULM next week. And that's going to be at the Monroe comes to Lafayette that week. James Madison, that's another road game that the Cajuns have to watch out for. So the Cajuns are not expected to lose a baseball weekend series. The only one they got lost, let's see, they got Southern Miss, them losing to Southern Miss. Yep, it's got them not losing any Sunbelt Conference baseball series up until Southern Miss, because Southern Miss is currently ranked number one in RPI, which is impressive for a Sunbelt team to be ranked number one in RPI. Even though Sunbelt's a very good baseball conference, I can't remember the last time I've seen a Sunbelt team being ranked number one in the RPI. So that's going to be kind of like the thing to kind of look at here when we get down to it, Jalen. So what you think about that?
So, like you said, especially with something else, school, shout out to Southern Miss because that's gonna do dividends for them later on in the season. But as we're talking now, that series against Southern Miss is until April. Um, I really don't see the Cajuns losing a series. I think they'll sweep Texas State. If I'm just being honest, I think that the next game against Houston, I think it's gonna be close. The Cajuns want to be battle tested and see if they can win games on the road, which I think they will. I think they go to San Marcos and sweep Texas State. I really do. I don't think Texas State will take one,
Okay,
and
I mean that's kind of
I really don't.
that's a bold prediction there by Jalen there. But if you're looking at we'll talk about this midweek matchup a little bit here. So Houston has seven batters that are hitting over 300 for them on the year here. They and in those 300, three of them are seniors for this Houston Cougars roster here. So they, as a team, let's see if I can pick up like team batting average here. Let's see. That's home, away. I'm trying to see. Is it advanced batting or standard batting? Let's just look at standard right now. I'm just trying to see if it's got like a. It's not giving me a team like So for pitching wise, let's go flip this over to pitching here. This is batting. Okay, okay. Let's go down to pitching. So Ryan Rodriguez for Houston, he's got a 1.35 ERA and eight appearances so far here. So it's gonna be kind of interesting to see who's gonna be the guy that's gonna be going against. Houston has a pretty good slew of pitchers here that have three pitchers in at 1 point something ERA. Ryan Rodriguez at 1.35. He's got eight appearances so far. He got one save. He's only pitched 20 innings so far. So Kendall Hoffman, he's got 3.45 ERA. He's pitched the most at a 28.2 innings pitched so far this year. You got Caden Cooper, Richie Roman, who they're both are sitting sub two ERAs here. So, but they've only pitched 10 innings each. So I don't know if they're going to be a midweek person. Alex Solis he's pitched 15 innings here, 2.4 ERA. Chris Cint, Cinta 5.6, 17.2 innings pitched so far. When you look at Paul Schmitz, he doesn't have a good ERA at all. He's 8.27. He struggled. Jackson Baker 9.82 ERA. They haven't. So the Smiths pitched 16.1, but Baker hasn't really pitched that much. He's only pitched 7 innings basically so far this year. So um, I think we might. You're gonna see probably a mixture go on here with pitchers here. You starter you want your starter to go five, 6, or 7 innings. If you're 7, you're being a really great day with your starter. So 5, 6, and 7 would be a bad run for either one of these teams here. So yeah, that's kind of like I think Houston they pitch a lot of arms, so they've they got a wide spread here. That's for sure. They've pitched a total of 16 pitchers throughout the whole entire year. I kind of want to know what the Cajuns are kind of running at with this here because like overall, just kind of like looking at just look at the teams here. Let's see if I can get it pulled up here real quick. But what you think about those ERAs for Houston, Jalen?
think, especially after Houston, I think it was Kansas State they just battled, where both teams put up ridiculous number of runs. They obviously go to show you they can score. They got some hitters. They have some pitchers. Who knows going to be at the mound. So I think this is going to be a great challenge for the Cajuns. Midweek matchup on the road against a good Houston team. I think that's something the Cajuns need because the thing that's going on right now is they talk about how the Cajuns are so good at home, but you got to be able to win on the road too. And I think beating a Houston team, they'll be able to silence some of those doubters and keep their great season going.
So the Cajuns have had a total of six players that played 20 games. That's the amount of games they played. So and the leaders in those two are Colt Brown and Blaze Rodriguez. Colt Brown's batting 347. Blaze Rodriguez is batting 294. Roberto Hernandez is batting 292. Lee Almade batting 290. Those are very good batting average numbers to say the least. Drew Markle 286 on the year. Then there's a drop off after that. You got Maddox Mandino, Steven Spalita 242 here. I mean, kind of want to see. I wouldn't mind seeing Torres. Jose Torres kind of getting some run in that DH spot, maybe a little bit there. I mean, he doesn't really, you know, just looking at it there. I mean, you're trying to get him back in there, but I think you got a good back to back option here. He's kind of like the straw that stirs the drink a little bit there. So I think that could be something the Cajuns could see when we get down the road here. So now talking about pitching here, Andrew Herman's through 2 complete games so far. He's pitched a lot, 34 innings worth of pitching here. He's had 5 appearances, 5 games started, 3-0 in those games here. So look, great. J.R. Tillett, he's got a kind of a high ERA of 5.28, but he's had 5 games started. He's pitched the four pitchers that have pitched the most for the Cajuns is Sawyer Pruitt, Andrew Herman, J.R. Tillett, and Ty Roman. They pitched 20 innings plus. Um, Herman's pitched the most out of everybody, 34.1 innings pitch. Sawyer Pruitt 31 innings pitch. J.R. Tillett 29. Ty Roman pitching 20. So they're gonna be it's gonna be kind of interesting to see who they're gonna throw. Maybe Sawyer Pruitt be a good classman, kind of like a lot of juniors and seniors in the top four pitching there, but they have some other ones that are starting like some freshmen that they can really rely on too. I think that could eventually help them out there. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you got Parker Smith, Cole Flanagan, Cody Brosh. He's a junior. But like you got like 6 appearances in Hayden Pearson. He's got 8 appearances himself. So they haven't pitched a ton, but they got 7.2 and 8 innings pitched here. So good in relief work, which I think could be a very good thing. Like once you start getting deeper into this regional and super regional when we start getting in there, this pitching thing is going to be more examined here. But the Cajuns do have a solid pitching staff so far. If you want to talk about like batting averages against these the top three innings pitchers, which is Sawyer Pruitt, Andrew Herman, and J.R. Tollett. When their batting average against Tollett's 226, Andrew Herman's 148, Sawyer Pruitt is 233. Those are very good numbers if you're a pitcher that you would like to see. Ty Roman's pitching 280. I want to see who has the best batting average against Cajun. Like who's got the so the ones that have had more than one appearance, like Wilton Taylor has one appearance, and Colt Brown, surprise, he has one appearance as well. But Bryce Wilson, he's got the worst at 375. He's a freshman. He's had 5 appearances so far, but as he gets older and matures more, you might end up. He's only pitched 3 innings. It's not. He hasn't really played a lot in it. Ty Roman, he's 280. Kind of. You can have one bad game, and it could like destroy your ERA. So that I'm trying to remember what game it was. It might have been Maryland that first game or something. I know that a couple of like big inning games. I'm trying to remember who was playing and pitching in that one, but either way, that's the way that could potentially happen there. So looking at it there and just looking at what's going on here. So let's start moving along, Jalen, into Raging Cajun softball. It wasn't a good weekend, Jalen. Can you give us a little recap of what you thought and what you saw in this softball series for the Cajuns against Southern Miss?
Yeah, so it. I mean, like you said, it wasn't the best. They were able to sneak out Hattiesburg, get one win. But I think the 2 games they lost, they had a combined 2 runs. They weren't able to get runs on the board. And I feel like this team definitely had a lot of hitters because in the second game, it was the opposite. They put up 9 runs. So I think it goes back to the fact that we said before, Chief, where one point they're good, but just the inconsistency. And I think it's definitely coming to a hold as you see early in a some conference play. I think it's just need to define themselves as a team. Like I said, they're playing great, but then they play bad, and they play great. Like I guess it's just I don't know what's going on right
I
now.
mean, like if you look at this team, they got wins over some very good opponents. They have wins over Texas
Yeah,
A&M, Ole Miss. It's not like they've been like it's like the consistency thing is a very real thing here. So they're gonna have a 3 game series at home this weekend against Texas State here. So looking at it from an RPI perspective, I know we posted something about the Sun Belt posting about RPIs, and I think the Cajuns were like 54. Let's see where they were at here. You're on the cusp. Yeah, 56. Non-conference RPI 54, strength of schedule 61. This is where the nitty-gritty gets at here. The Cajuns are not good against really great teams like tournament teams. They're 3-8 if you combine the versus RPI teams of 1 through 50. And that's a good metric to look at here. So they're 3-8 against that there. Let's look and see where Southern Miss was at in this list here because yes, you can have some good losses. You can have some good losses in conference and RPI and all that good noise. You can very well have some good things going there, but it's just rough. It's a very rough thing to go through if you're the Cajuns here because I think that's kind of where kind of looking at it that way. I think they have. Let's look here. I need to go look at let's go look at Southern Miss like I was talking about. So point up Southern Miss here RPI wise here. So after this series here, Southern Miss they're in softball. I'm not talking about baseball. They're number 1 in baseball. Like I said, very impressive. Once you start like looking at it and everything else here. Let's see. Oh, it's at the bottom. It's definitely at the bottom. Their RPI is 91. The Cajuns should have won this series if you're looking at the numbers. There was no reason for them to drop this series. But that comes back to like the inconsistent play of the Cajuns. So that doesn't help them too much. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. So how do you see this series against Texas State for softball? Looking, Jalen, for the softball team. They're back at home though, so that could be a really good thing for them. What you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think them being at home is definitely gonna boost them being right there at Lansing. Texas State is not going to be an easy opponent. They're right there at the top of the Sun Belt as far as softball, so they're playing pretty good ball. Like I said, Cajuns just aren't playing well on the road, but they are playing great at home. So I think Cajuns will say I think the Cajuns will be able to take two or three against Texas State. I really do. I think they just need to just bigger things. Like you said, they have great wins, fantastic wins, but just losses to some teams they shouldn't be losing to. Like you said, I really thought that they were going to win the series against Southern Miss, but now they got a chance to redeem themselves at home and try to get it going against Texas State.
Like the Prairie View A&M,
Yeah, that,
The
yeah.
Prairie View loss. That was a bad one. Jacksonville State loss was a bad one too. Um, St. Mary was a bad loss. A&M and Oklahoma. I just don't know that they're gonna have enough. I just don't know that they're gonna have enough big wins here, and they need. I think they need all the these 60 through 0 through 60 RPI ranked teams win wise to get them over into the tournament here. I said at the beginning of the year that I thought this team wise to get them over into the tournament here. I said at the beginning of the year that I thought this team was going to be a regional team. I said that last year. I was wrong last year. I hope I'm not wrong twice here, and I'm not trying to be a homer or anything, but I really thought this team was going to have a little bit better. It depended on what the pitching was going to do, and the pitching has done better this year. But then they just get in these runs where it just kind of puts them in a bad spot because they're out there for so long or whatever, and they're waiting on these players to make a hit somewhere, and you're just like, okay, what's going on? Like, what am I doing, right? What am I supposed to do at this point? Like you're just out there, and sometimes they'll make errors and stuff. But I think overall, I think the softball team can make a regional. I still think they're when they're good, they're a regional team. When they're good, they're a regional team, hands down. There's not a debate that when we see the good side of them, they're a Jekyll and Hyde team. That's what you can describe them as. The Hyde side of them is really really bad. It's not really good. They don't, you know, timely hitting. The hits that you need, runners in scoring position, that kind of thing, really hurts this softball team. So I'm not bashing them too much. It's just the facts, and that's just what it is here. So with that being said, here, I think it's this could be. I think this series could make or break their season. I know it's early. I know it's extremely early to call. You got a lot of games left, but you got one. Let's see how many series you got. One, two, three, four, five, six. You got 7 series left, so you got a total of 21 games left. Besides the midweek games, you got 21 games that can make the majority of your season here. But I think the Texas State one could be a thing that could spring forward. If you go out there and you win 2 out of 3 here, sets you up really well for your second half of your season here because you're going to be in a very good shape here. Because if they go 17-12 again, you're going to have a 34-20. Yeah, if you go 17-30, you're going to have a 34-24 record, which is better than 34-24. The Cajuns were, if you look at last year, 29-25. So they're definitely gonna play more games this year. So that's kind of the thing. For the second half here. So we'll see what happens with that there. But what you think, Jalen? I, I, I'm gonna go with them winning 2 out of 3 against Texas State because I think the good side's gonna come up because they're gonna be at home. It's gonna be really nice. If they play on the road, their last they've been on the road since February 27th. That's a long time. They've been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have 12 games on the road. So that 12 game road stretch here, they finally get to come home. And I think these next 4 games, like with McNeese and all of them, if they can win 3 out of those 4, they're gonna be in a really good spot. I think entering this entering the UOM series because they don't have to go that far as a road series. But they do get like a lot of lot of Lafayette games back toward the end of the year. It's starting on April 14th against LSU, all the way up to April 26th. You play a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. five, six, seven out of 8 games at home there. So you do get a good game back, but it's was a lot of traveling for them during this stretch of the season. What do you think, Jalen?
Team and boost up the keys because you go on the road, you definitely be able to win at home as you should. So going on the road is not such a bad thing. You just got to come out and pull out these wins. I think I can't disagree with you when you say this matchup against Texas State it could be crucial to their season because not only coming against this series, but then like you said, Chief, you got Big East coming up, and then you got a series against UL. You know, it just you got to win. Time is going to be ticking. Next thing you know, the tournament is going to be here. So, and I think this team will reach a regional too when they're playing great. So, I think being at home, they'll take 2 or 3 against Texas State.
All right, I think that's kind of a. I mean, that's kind of what we wanted to hear, Jalen. A little bit of like, like heck yeah, man. Like we got some really good things going on here. So I mean, like, look, I think the way this thing's working, I think the Cajuns could very well be good. They just got to put it all together. It's a matter of like I think they have all the pieces they need. It's just that they don't execute all at the same time. It's a lot of like sometimes I think mental errors can be a thing though too. And I think that's a very good thing to have. Like not a very good thing to have, but like I think they have the pieces there. It's just a matter of they get everything all together and all. Like they have the gumbo made, but they don't have the rice yet. You know, they're still cooking the yeah, and you need the rice to have a successful gumbo. I feel like that's what the Cajuns are at right now. I feel like they have a gumbo made, and it's everything tasting good and everything else. We'll say that they have the chicken and the sausage in the gumbo, but in the roux and everything else, and all that stuff. But they don't have the actual like they don't have the rice. We're waiting on the rice, and people are getting angry because they're hungry. I feel like that's how it feels like to be the Ragin Cajun softball so far this year. The inconsistency, like right now, they're forgetting the rice in the bowl and they're serving people, which it isn't bad when it's good, right? Like the chicken tastes good and stuff, but it just doesn't like completely satisfy you because you're like, man, dude, like I'm still hungry. I need something to swell up my stomach, right?
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how I'm putting together this whole entire like run for the Cajuns and stuff. So I think that's gonna do it here for Fishbowl Sports tonight. Want to give y'all a quick little update here because I mean it's just Raging Cajun baseball, and Raging Cajun softball. Only two teams that we got playing here so far. So probably gonna be more like 30-minute episodes and stuff. This coming on forward and stuff here because you know people got jobs and stuff, right? This is a hobby for us, and we like talking about this kind of stuff here. But I think the way that this plays out here, I think the Cajuns are gonna be a very good team. I think baseball is going to take care of business against Houston. I think they'll win 2 out of 3 against Texas State. I think softball team gets 2 out of 3 there. So I think we'll have some good luck this week. I think it's going to be a good turnaround week for Raging Cajun Athletics. Thank you for tuning in here to this episode here on Fishbowl Sports. We hope a great and wonderful night here, and we'll see you here next time here on Fishbowl Sports. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.